give me those jazz hands.
Brought to you by Scoobly Doodly Doo.
But other than that, very nice version.
Yeah, it's it shows that a great song is a great song, whether you play it with 4-part harmony and an orchestra, big production, or just a person with an acoustic guitar leaving out some of the parts. It's still a great song. It's like it'll stand up to that. And the groove is completely different, isn't it? When you hear that song, James Taylor's version of it. And that's unmistakably James Taylor. And he took a Beatles song and made it into James Taylor. That's his way of playing guitar and the way he hears the groove. And it's such an honest rendition. It's like, this is me. This is how I would hear it. And it really speaks to me on that level. You're at the era of I think it's the peak of the singer-songwriter, like James Taylor, Cat Stevens, Joan Baez, Joni Mitchell, a lot of people with guitars singing. And he's taken something that was a bit more complex and kind of made it his own and changed the groove. And it's just, I love that version of that tune. There's a bit of sadness in that. Yeah, I just may die with a little help from my friends. The way he sings that, there's some truth. You can tell he's experienced some of that. The thing I like about it is just, James Taylor isn't trying. It's just this is an honest rendition of this tune. And he, as you said, he didn't add the last part. There's no theatrics and there's no musical acrobat, like great, big going up. It's very kind of, it doesn't change. He doesn't change a lot vocally. There's not a huge range that he goes to, but I just dig it. Yeah, I like that's the kind of stuff speaks to me.
Yeah, you definitely hear some emotion behind it, and it, who knows? Maybe he was going through something at the time, and maybe he got some help from his friends. Maybe there's a story behind it, but you could tell he connected to the song in some personal way. Yeah. And that's also the mark of a great artist, that I think they connect themselves to the music on some emotional level.
Yeah, I'm glad that they have those BBC recordings from the 70s. They're so great, and they're recorded beautifully. There's not much to the recording, but there's a beautiful reverb, and it's just so pure.
Yeah, looking at that recording, aside from the large size collar, that could have been today. It could have been. Yeah. You know what I mean? It looking at it, it's like, what? It doesn't look like 1970. It's.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I just didn't think it did. Other than maybe the clothing, but I just thought like the quality of the audio.
Oh, and beautiful quality, yeah.
And just a simple cycloramic background, just the color, a single color. But it looked to me like just very simple, and it could have been the same thing that you saw on TV today.
Yeah. I just love the way. If you listen to a lot of James Taylor, and there's a certain way he plays the guitar, he fit the way he plays the guitar to that song. I know it's good to learn, like if you're a guitarist, learn the greats, learn exactly how they play. But there's also a lot of reward. And if you've got a good style going and you can do a cover of a song, but in your own style, and it's good like that, then that's really cool. And that's what he did. Cool.
Well, I think we're going to have to wrap up today's podcast, but I'm inspired, and I'm thinking of some song ideas for our next one.
Cool.
and you mentioned Joni Mitchell too, and I've got a great.
Oh,
There's this Joni
I
Mitchell.
think I know.
Oh yeah, okay. Now tell me what you think. I'm curious.
I think you're going to choose the one with Jocko, Pat Metheny. Oh, you should.
We're on the same wavelength here.
More people need to see that and listen to that. Yeah.
It is a great. It's a concert, and Jocko always brings some magic, but the others too. Pat Metheny and Lyle Mays, they're both on that.
Oh yeah.
And it's just a great concert. Michael Brecker plays on that concert too.
He does.
It's
does.
like
And
it's
it's
the
a
who's
moment
who.
in time. It's a moment in time. And it's one of those things, like we've talked about the Beatles and we've talked about other great music. Sometimes, like the song you're talking about now, or the live album with Joni Mitchell, what do you call it exactly? Is it jazz? It has elements of that in it. It's got jazz, all jazz musicians. Is it rock? Has some elements of that. Is it folk? Well, she's a folk singer, but she's playing with jazz musicians. So what do you call it? It doesn't matter. Sometimes the best music is, you can't define it in one genre, and you don't have to. Everybody wants to label something, and you don't have to. Just like Sgt. Pepper's, just like Abbey Road, they have elements of a lot of things in there. Are they a rock band? In some ways they are. Are they a blues band? Not as much as the Rolling Stones, but you know what I mean? All those great things. And yeah, I think that Joni Mitchell the live performance was a great moment in time, and I'm glad that we have it.
Thank God for modern recording technology to be able to capture moments like that. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, so we have that to look forward to in our next podcast, and
Cool.
And many other things. So we hope that you'll stay tuned. We'll be back
Yeah,
this
I
time
hope-
next week.